Hello, guys, and welcome to the second episode of Heart to Heart. My name is Shalom Manga, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. But if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In today's episode, I have a guest with me, and his name is Winga. So, Winga, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm really, really grateful and humbled to be here, to be honest.
You're welcome. But can you please give us a brief background of who Winga is in a minute?
Okay, so my name is Winga Stephen Sichone, and I'm also known as Mansicho. Most people call me Mansicho or Mansicho comedies, depending on, And I am currently in Russia. I'm studying agronomy, and I'm from Chipata. Proud Easterner. And then other than that, I don't think there's anything more you need to know.
Oh, really? Maybe. Let's save that for later. Okay, so now to break the ice, I have got trivia questions for you. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. So, number one, just one sentence. If you can say yes or no, you can choose depending on what you want or depending on the question I'll ask. So, it starts. Is your bed made right now?
I sleep with my girlfriend, so I'm sure she's made it. What? No, I didn't make it. I didn't. No. I was in a rush. Today, no.
Okay. Is it all the time, though?
Just today.
Just today?
Just today.
Okay, let's go to the second one. What never fails to make you laugh?
What never fails to make me laugh? That's a tough one. I don't know. Really. I'm
Yourself?
not sure. No, I laugh at myself sometimes.
So you never fail to make you laugh?
No. So I really don't know what fails to make me laugh.
What never fails to make you laugh?
What never fails to make me laugh? Yes. Okay, what never fails to make me laugh? You.
What?
I mean, I would say you. Yeah.
My mom is watching. Okay, 3. What item is worth spending money on? More money, to be precise. What item?
Shoes.
Shoes? Yeah. Not a watch?
No, shoes.
Really?
People wear fake shoes. Don't mention names. Some people be wearing Muma instead of Puma. Adidas, So I think shoes, guys, please.
What brand are you wearing right now?
This is Adidas. This is Adidas.
Not Aninas.
No. I make sure I spend money on shoes.
Okay. 4th question. What is your favorite word in another language?
Упражнение in Russian. Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means exercise. Exercise, yeah. It's my favorite. It's always been my favorite. Упражнение. For some reason, I do not know why, but for some reason, it's been my favorite.
Weird. Number 5. What is the kindest thing you have ever done for someone else?
I think there was a time I was, my friend was having a problem with paying for, we call them medicals, right? Yeah. And I was also in need to pay like medicals, but he had more money and he was just remaining with like 1,000 rubles to pay for.
He had more money.
And then because he was close to filling up, like adding up to the actual amount for paying, yeah. And then I had a little, so I told him, okay, since you already have like more money, let me just add on you, and sooner or later you're going to things are going to So I gave him my money. Even though I had little money, I gave him my money, and then he ended up paying. And then after some time, I don't know why, he found a job and he returned the favor. Well, I never asked him to return the favor. It just happened.
Was it more?
Yeah, it was more. Yeah, yeah, it was more.
Okay, so the next questions will be a matter of just yes or no. Just 5 seconds. Let's go. Night out, night in.
In.
Okay. Expensive present, homemade presents.
Pass.
Could you be pass?
Okay, I would say depending on expensive.
Okay. Would you rather find your dream job or win the lottery? Be honest.
Win the lottery. Win the dream job. Win the lottery.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Why?
No, like no, you know, like the heat for me for some reason it's hard to control. Like the temperature is just hard to control. Like winter, you can't control it, regardless of how cold it is. You can keep yourself warm. But summer, it can be hot, and then you're trying to make yourself feel, it's still hot and stuff. For me, I don't know for you, but for me, and I'm sure someone out there can relate.
Okay. Money or happiness? Money or happiness?
Money.
Why?
Money will bring, of course, the money, then the happiness will come. I mean, you can't be happy without money, guys. Like, honestly, you can't be happy without money. Like, some people are stressed out. It's not that, no, Chan, I'm in a bad mood. It's just that people don't have money.
People are broke, ne?
People are broke. And I'm people. That's the problem. Relax. Yeah, but money.
Okay, money. Okay, so getting back to what you said earlier on when you were giving a brief introduction, you touched a bit about comedy. So if you don't mind, how did you start your journey, and when did you start your journey as a comedian?
Okay. So initially, like, growing up, like, I'd always wanted to be in the, in the industry, in the movie industry and everything. But I remember most of the times I would sit down, like I do it too today, I would sit down and act as if I'm receiving an award. And then I would, like, sometimes I even cry. Like tears of joy. I'm like, I want to thank my mom, I want to thank my what, I start pointing out people, yeah? Really? Yeah. And then it is a thing where I've got passion for acting. And I remember that was 2018. My cousin had a friend over, so she came home and we were chatting at night, and then I was telling her this story. It's a true story, but I just added some spices, I added some spices, and then she ended up laughing, like dead laughing, and she's like, Winga, I think you should become a comedian. Like, you should really become a comedian.
How old were you? I'm sorry, but how old were you at that time?
Age doesn't matter. But that was 2018. I was old enough. So, so we're like chatting, and then she feels nice, she's laughs, and then, like, when you should become a comedian, I'm like, I'm just 2 steps away from you being my girlfriend. You just like me. This is not a normal compliment, And then she was like, you should become a comedian and stuff. And then after that, I thought through it, and then, of course, I've been watching, like, I used to watch, like, Trevor Noah and everything, different comedians and stuff like that, Zambian comedians. And I was like, okay, let me try to make a video. And I remember I made a video of how black people react when they go underwater and how white people react when, like, white people, no, honestly, white people, when they go underwater and then they come out, they're calm and cool. Like, you just, but black people, like, where's what the bunch? Like, you start questioning, so, like, that, I just made that, and then like, I posted it on my status, and then my sister saw it, then her friends, like, she put it on her status, and then just went viral, and then I'm like, okay, let me try to continue with this, and then here I am.
Okay. What a backstory. And you mentioned your stage name in the introduction. You said that you go by the name as Mansicho Comedies. Why Mansicho? Why not Winga Sichone Comedies? Something. But why Mansicho though?
Like, my surname, right? My surname is Sichone.
Yeah.
And then the man, I do not know where it came from, but my friends gave me this name. And the funny thing is that I was a boy. The time they're giving me this name, I was, like, very young. And then they started calling me Mansicho for some reason. And then so when I started, like, comedy, and then I was like, at first I started with the Namwanga warrior, because I'm Namwanga by tribe. So I'm like, the Namwanga warrior. I'm like, a warrior, what are you doing in comedy? Warrior, in comedy. Like, So I was like, okay, let me try to use the name that my friends gave me, like Mansicho. And then I was like, Mansicho Comedies. And like, yeah, Namwanga warrior in comedy. Warrior Kuba serious. Warrior in comedy. No. So, that's when I just decided to come to use the old name, and then Mansicho, and then, Mansicho Comedies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very.
So how's the journey so far? How has it been what are some of the challenges that you have encountered as Mansicho? Definitely.
A lot. Yeah, like we're in 2023 and last month, I would say, not last month, I would say January, like 4 years. Like it's now been 4 years ever since I've been doing comedy and publicizing myself, like putting out on media and stuff like that. Yeah. It's been 4 years now. And, I think I started with a number of people, that like, continue with this thing, continue with this spirit. And then, well, during the journey, some of them ended up like stopping, like, pushing me there, like continue doing, they just like went quiet on me. Yeah. And, sometimes, look, it made me feel bad because like you look at the people that were supporting you and then now they're not telling you, like they're not giving you that vibe anymore, and you're like, am I becoming boring or what? Of which I understand, because comedy sometimes is not, you cannot manage to please everyone. You understand? Yeah. But then there are certain people that you think they're supposed to push you regardless, because they're supposed to support you in what you're doing, regardless whether you find it interesting, but they're just supposed to push you at least. Continue. I know you're not making me laugh, but there's somebody out there that you are, you're making, you're entertaining. So that for me was kind of a drawback. And then even like utensils, I would have like big ideas, like I need to do this, but then when I look at what I have, some people say you just use what you have, but even what I had wasn't even like adding up. It wasn't adding up, And then you find someone who's just started, and then they just like surpass you, and then you're just like, what am I doing wrong? But then I sat down, and then my brother-in-law once told me to say, you do not climb a tree from the top. You understand? So for that, every challenge I face, I know how to, I know that this is leading me in a certain way, But otherwise, I would say most of my challenges were I had less utensils, like what to use and everything, equipments, and then, but with time, ended up, becoming better, and then, yeah.
So, how did that affect your mental health? How did the people who you considered close to you, after they put back, affect you mentally or emotionally?
To be honest with you, that was really bad. Like yeah, like, because 1 minute somebody's like, yeah, the other minute somebody's, so that really, like, it made me think, like, what am I not doing that's right? You understand, right? Like, I'm trying by all means to entertain the people. Like, I'm trying by all means to do this, but like, why are people not, like, I'm expecting. And then I just said I'm not supposed to expect too much from anyone. And trust me, within your circle, it's not everyone within your circle that's going to help you. It's the people that don't know you that are going to push you forward. Like, trust me. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I've learned. And when I understood that, when I just like put that into my mind, and then I just knew that I'm not supposed to depend on anyone. Understand? So I know, like, even the people right now that share my content, most of them are the people that I do not know. Oh, wow. The people that I know, a few of them share my content. Like, a few of them will share my content. So at the end of the day, it's just a matter of you knowing, like, understanding to say, it's not the people that are within my circle that will help me the most. It's somebody out there. An example I'll give is Jesus. He couldn't preach in his own country, in his own like town. He went somewhere else. You understand? Like, people that know you, they've got like that mentality of like, we know that person. You understand? So that makes you not to give out your best. But someone who doesn't know you will appreciate you, and then, yeah.
Okay, I needed to cough. Yeah. I love the point that you have raised. You talked about Jesus, and we don't just see it in Jesus's life. Yeah. We see it even in our day-to-day lives, including myself. It's something that I've experienced when people become familiar with you. They stop appreciating the gifts and talents you bring to the table.
And yeah, and this is what we need to tell some fans out there. They want to be close to us. And we might seem as if we do not want to be close to them. Well, it's not because we do not want to be close to them, but it's because when you are very close to us, at some point you will not see our value. You will not, they will just, I'm used to that person. And then they'll stop seeing you and you understand? That's why we try to keep the distance. But in as much as we're keeping the distance, we still have in mind that you are there for us. We are nothing without you guys. And
Yeah. Anyway, that was a valid point that you raised, and a lot of people, if not everybody, has experienced it at some point or during their journey when it comes to life. Well, aside from that, I wanted to draw you to a point that you raised. You talked about your brother-in-law and how he supported you and encouraged you when you were going through your trying times or trying situations. Um, I would love to pose a question. How supportive was your family generally when you came out and said, Mom, brother-in-law, sisters, I want to be a comedian?
Funny thing is that I never actually came out. I just, no, because I never told them that this is what I want to do. I just made a video and then they're like, we saw your video. Like, they just started seeing things. Oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, that's a good thing. But I never told them, like, this is what I've been planning and this is, no, I just made a video. And I was actually scared because, I'm the only boy. Yeah, I've got 5 sisters and then I'm the last born, I'm the only boy. So my firstborn sister, there's an incident that happened back in 2016. We're playing this truth or dare game with this girl. That was around 24.
With your sister?
No, with some other girl. Okay. That was on 24 hours.
Wait, 24? Where were you?
Home, but then texting, WhatsApp and stuff. So,
Makes sense.
so we're playing and then she dares me to say, put me on your DP. And then I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, I know it's 24 hours, everyone is sleeping, let me put her. And then WhatsApp didn't have these, like this one can view. It was just open.
Yeah.
As long as they've got your number, they will view. Mm-hmm. So I put her and then my sister was awake at that time. Yeah. She texts me, who is that on your status? I went, I became numb, like, oh my God. I turned off my phone. I tried to sleep, but I was like, no, I can't sleep. I went back and then started texting, like, no, we're playing a game. This is the game. This is truth or dare, what. Started like, she texted me. The text was long. It looked as if it was the terms and conditions. It had the read more. Like, no, the read more. Like, eh! And I could hear her voice, And she's like, no, you're too young. What? Concentrate on school, what? So I became scared because of that. Yeah. And I just thought as if they just want school. You understand? So even the time I had this idea of comedy, I didn't want to open up to them because of the same thing that happened then. So I was like, maybe they'll just shout at me, say, just concentrate on school and stuff. But then after making the video, then they're like, no, it's a good thing, It's a good thing. You should continue. And then it gave me courage. And I won't even lie, like they have been the best supporters. Like when you go on my social media platforms, they are my top fans.
Really?
Support system. And so they accepted it and they pushed me till today. They're so much proud of me. Okay. Yeah, so otherwise my family, they've been so supportive till today. There's no point where they've said, Winga, I should stop this. We want you to concentrate on school. Actually, I think they even push me more in comedy in what I do compared to school. But I do. I balance. So there's no need for them to choose between the two. But they're very...
Okay, that's so great. Because, sometimes the challenges that we face really, it's not because, what point am I? Sometimes the challenges we face come from the lack of support of our families and the fear that they are going to look at us a certain type of way. But I thank God it did not play out like that for you. And you took hold of that fear and you didn't allow it to paralyze your potential or to paralyze you, and that is something that is worth learning from. What is worth learning from? What would you say to somebody who would like to pursue their dreams and yet they have family, they have lack of support from family? What advice can you give them? Go for it, or calm down till mommy approves, till daddy says yes. What can you say to them?
Firstly, I would say it depends on what thing it is. You understand? So if it's something that you feel it's right and it brings joy to you, something that is right, it's not illegal, something that you feel you can do, you understand? Mm-hmm. I think you have to follow what you're doing. What I mean when it's something right, you might want to be a drug dealer and your parents are telling you no, that doesn't mean they're not being supportive. Like, that's vivid enough. Like, don't. You know, but if it's something whereby, let me say, being a musician, you're an artist, you can draw, you can do this. I mean, even if, like, just go for what you want, like, just do it until, I mean, like, just do it. Take the risk. Just do it because you want to do it and you will enjoy doing it. Trust me, you will enjoy doing it. So just do what you want to do as long as it's right.
As long as it's right, do it, go for it. So, let's get back to where you draw your inspiration from. Do you have a backstory behind, or maybe you just wake up and say, I'm going to do this?
Okay. I would say my inspiration. So many, like, there's so many comedians that are very good out there. So many of them, and I would say, but my main inspiration was my dad. So my dad, you know, I just like could hear stories about him. Like, your dad was so funny. You find, you know, you're at a funeral and then he would just crack some jokes, you know, to make people, you know. So it's like, and I didn't know about that, and I got to learn about that after I would say after I started like comedy, and then that's when people were like, oh, you want to be like your father. So that like even inspired me to do more. Like, let me continue this thing. Like, people are reminding people of my dad and stuff like that and stuff. And then away from that, I would say the comedians like, you know, Trevor Noah. There are comedians that like, let me see, Ken Dumbo, Zambian comedians. Yeah. There are so many Zambian comedians I can't even remember, like Big Low, Difficult. Look, those people, like, you see, yeah, you remember, yeah? Yeah, yeah. Those people could, like, you know, I would like, okay, this is nice, like, this is good. I can, if they did it, I can do it as well. And there's so many comedians that I've watched, and I cannot say this one is my favorite to say, because at the end of the day, they're all doing the same thing, which is making people laugh, and I love the energy they put in. I learn one or two things from all of them. So, yeah, so I'm inspired by almost each and every comedian that I find interesting, you know.
Interesting. Let me just take you back. You brought you mentioned your dad, and you used a particular phrase when you say that he was. Yeah, he was. So run us through what happened.
Okay. So my dad is late. Amen. He died in 2005. Yeah, in 2005. Yeah, he died in 2005 on the 19th of August. Yeah, so what else do you want to know? How he died now? No, yeah, but like 2005, yeah, that's when he died, and it was, yeah.
So, how was it growing up? You also mentioned that you're the only boy you're the only male, let me be precise, the only male in your household, in your family, as at now. So, how did the absence of your dad impact you?
Okay, I would say, you know, as a kid, you're growing up, and then you would find, usually, mostly, what used to hate me, and it's something I've never even shared with my parents, my mom,
She's gonna watch this.
and my sisters. I would feel bad when, like, my friends at school, my dad is coming to pick me up and stuff. My dad is coming to pick me up. My dad this, my dad that. To some extent, it would feel as if they're trying to show off, but I'm like, they do not know. They do not know. I mean, it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, we're just children. And it's funny, I would have those thoughts when I was young to say, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that your dad died, and they do not know that your dad died. So why should you have that pain, say they're trying to show off or anything? You understand? Yeah. So it was really tough for me. Like, you know, every time I go to school, you know, I could feel bad about it, but I never wanted to show it off home. Like, this is how I'm feeling and everything. But I would say my mom kind of took a role of my dad as well, because yeah, she's just like, you know. And then after a certain age, I reached a certain age, I saw my firstborn sister. Yeah. She took a role of like my dad. Like, I'm afraid of her. Like, even like I'm a hey. But it turns out she's my best friend. Like, she's my best friend.
Should I call her?
Hey. She's my best friend. Like, we talk about everything. Like, even if there's this girl I'm seeing, I'll tell her, you know, like, she became like somebody who's close to me, but I'm afraid of her compared to my mom. Like, you can combine my mom and my remaining 4 sisters. How I'm afraid of them wouldn't compare with how I'm afraid of her. Like, yeah, and I respect her a lot. I love her so much. And she like took the role of my dad because like sometimes she's my dad. She can talk to me like a man. Like man to man, you're just talking like, And sometimes she can talk to me like a sister and like a mother. So I just named her, like, we now call her deputy mother, you understand?
Yeah.
Deputy mother, but she is my dad, that one. Yeah, but otherwise, it's been rough, but here I am, and yeah.
Oh, such a beautiful story, and you really are a testimony. But um, you're not the only one to be in that situation, and so many people out there are in single parent households. So, what would you say, or what are some of the values that you picked up growing up in such that you picked up whilst growing in such an environment that helped you shape the future you wanted or desired?
Well, I think it's just determination and willpower. Because it depends with how some people. When I tell them that okay, I've managed to pull through life, without my dad, just my mom and my sisters. You understand? And they think maybe you just never got hurt about. Some people when they lose somebody, we tend to react differently. You understand? So how somebody else would react is different from how I would react. You understand? But at the end of the day, you will choose yourself to say, now that my dad, or I don't have a dad, I'm growing up without a dad, am I going to be this or am I going to be this? Yes, so you have the choice yourself to say, okay, this is what I want, and this is what, but we all react differently. Maybe that's just my thoughts, but somebody out there can lose weight and then, but the most important thing is just do what's right, and then trust me, you will make it. You won't even know how time will pass, and then you'll make it out, then you'll be like, oh, okay.
Nice to know. Nice to know. And also to add up on your point, as you have stated, so many people tend to be bitter about life based on maybe the circumstances they went through whilst growing up, and so they hold on to that, forgetting that they have the power to be in the present and to influence their lives positively and to rewrite the history that has been written to set a new path for others as well. Because we do not live for ourselves, we live to leave a pathway for the people that are coming after us. And so, in most cases, as you have said, some people tend to be stuck in the past situations. No, I lost my mom, they did that, they did this, and that really keeps us bound as people, as individuals, from achieving so many things. And I just love the point that you raised. Aside from that, what role did spirituality play in your life when it comes to your upbringing, to your root, like when it comes to your rooting as an individual and your identity?
So going back to you said something that really touched me as well. People, you cannot have something new if you are holding on to something. You're holding on to something that you're supposed to let go of something of the past. Something new, you're not giving in room for something new. You understand? So if you keep on holding on to pain, you're not allowing joy to come in. So you have to let go. Yeah. So sometimes there's nothing you can do about somebody who's left you. There's nothing. Somebody who's died, there's nothing you can do. Their memories will still remain, but all you have to do is let go, accept, feel the pain, let go, accept, and then move on. Regardless. It will take time, yes, but don't dwell in it. Like, don't dwell in it. That's the most important thing. And then being brought up, like, I grew up in a Christian family, and even today I'm still a Christian, and we have how we believe, like, yeah, and it's just not about Christianity and my spiritual, like how I am today, how the roles it's played. I think even the beating, African parents beat, like, spirits aside, like, guys, they beat, like, even spirits, you can even say spirits cannot even control you more than how, like, my mom could beat me, and then I'm like, God, like, my mom has 90%, I would say 75% of the way I am today. It's my mom. Like, she's shaped me into, like, she's just put me there. And then God just came to pop on it just a bit, like just, you know. But like the rest is like, no, God to come down, he can say, no, what he's saying is true. This guy, like the mom has played a role. Like the mom was just like,
So God was intentional when putting your mom in your life.
swear to God, I own God. Yeah, like
She shaped you.
she shaped me. Like God used that woman to shape me, I would say. Yeah, like me, yo, like that said. I'm telling you, I'm one person who, when my mother told me, don't do this, I wasn't going to do it again. Like, I will not do it again. I won't do it again. And I wasn't that boy who would, like, they want to beat you and then you run away. Run away. She told me, go and get a stick. I'll go and come back. This is not okay. I'll then say, I think, yes, you're right. I'll go and get another one, even something better. You understand, right? Come on, guys. My mom has shaped me, and I think God has used my mom to shape me. Yeah, and even she's been there like every time Sunday church. Yeah. Sunday church, and then there's my mom who is now my earthly God, and then now there's now going to church, which is now like it's a 50 thing, and then now going to church as well, it's a 50 thing, coming together, making it happen. I'm not so perfect, I would say, but I'm saying I'm proud of who I am today. I've like there's so many things, like there was a stage where I had peer pressure, like so many, like but I never lost track. I never lost track. Even after my mom stopped scolding me and everything, like being there and being tough, but I still like I have those. It's just in me now. It grows in me, and I'm hoping to pass it on to the next generation. Yeah. So otherwise, it's been 50-50. My African mom. I'm sure you can relate.
I can relate. I can relate because yo. My mom, because I've also grown up with my mom only, due to the fact that my parents divorced when I was very, very young. So growing up, it was just mom, and mom was strict. Mom was strict. Not necessarily because she's bad, no, but she saw what I couldn't see, and I really appreciate her for that. And I appreciate the adults that God specifically placed in my life intentionally to shape and mold me.
And me, I was the only boy. I've been the only boy. So she wants that, like, I'm carrying the name of Sichone. Like, I'm the only boy. And then she doesn't want me to mess up or, like, So I was, yeah, yo. Hey. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful. Like, I'm really, really grateful.
Yeah, they did a good job, and they did what they knew best at the time, you understand? So they really gave us the best, and that's what also my mom did. This is why I find it so relatable. Because literally my mom was very, very, very tough when it comes to me, what I did, where I went. She needed me to be somewhere at a specific time, and if I'm not there, it was hectic. It was hectic, but I see the importance of that in my life today, because the discipline that was instilled, I cannot overemphasize. I cannot overemphasize that point. The discipline, the determination, because my mom would always speak to me, aside from the fact that she was a disciplinarian, and she still is. She spoke words of wisdom, words to build me, words of love. My mom is very verbal, so she spoke. Tell me, she would tell me and remind me of what my life needed to look like. And she was like, you're going to be successful. You look nice when you're doing this, so this does not look nice on you. And that influenced me. It influenced me positively, because I started seeing myself in a positive way. So my self-image, my mom really played a role when it comes to building that, and her words just they were reassuring and reaffirming. So back to the question of having a present mom like yours. How did her presence in your life influence your self-image as Winga and, having the determination to do the things that you do?
Yeah, no, I've seen like that woman has fought so many battles. Like, she's done a lot. Like, we were still in school. I was young. I was very, very, very young. And some of my sisters were in Unza when my dad passed away.
Yeah.
And then, but she still managed. She's kept on. Like, she pushed until everyone were, oh, okay, now I can't say this one is doing this. All her children and were together. Like, we're just, we're just, everyone went to school. She managed to do that. And then she's a woman, and then I'm the guy. I'm like, no. I have to, at least, if she can do it and she's a woman, I will do it. I'm a man, you understand? So that gave me more power to and I think I actually matured when I was young, because I would move alone from Chipata to Lusaka when I was just like 10 years or 9 years old, alone.
Really?
Oh, yeah, on a bus. Like, we would sit, we're now at Nyimba.
Would they tell the conductor that?
Nothing, nothing. I would drop off. I go, if maybe I need to buy fruits myself, I'll buy food, I'll go back in. If we reach a certain station, I'll go and use the toilets, I'll go and use the bathroom, toilets, and come back. Like, I just matured, like, I move alone at that young age, and that's a long journey, Lusaka, Chipata. Yeah, and I was just 9. And there was this time that I impressed her, and then I did it for the sake of doing it. It just happened. I was coming from Lusaka to Chipata, and then I happened to reach, I don't know, one of these places, maybe Petaoke, I don't know, I've forgotten, Nyimba, and then I bought onion, a sack of onion, and I was just 9. I put it in. So when we reached home, when I reached home, and then the taxi took me home, I actually got a taxi for myself and it took me home. And then, so they're removing things, and then she sees the potato, and then I found out with her friends, hey, that's not feeling nice. And then they see the onion, and it's like, Winga, nanga onion ni waitumza kutoka kulusaka or bunch, like, I'm like, no, I'm the one who bought. She felt so nice, and her friends started praising her. Like, you raised your son very well. I'm like, of course, of course, it's me, So I felt like it was so nice, and then from there, everyone in the community kind of like, Mansicho, even the time we're writing grade 9 exams, as a person, like, my friends' moms, they love me because of that same thing. It just ended up spreading like that, of which, like, it's a good thing, but sometimes, but it gives me so much pressure because I do not want to disappoint them. I just want to maintain it there. But then at the end of the day, they were so proud of me, and I'm proud of the way I was raised, because I did it for the sake of doing it, but it was so big, like looking at someone who's young, thinking about home, you buy onion, and then, at that age, so that made them very, very, like, proud of me.
Okay.
So amazing.
So amazing. It is so amazing. It's lovely to see. I think it's fulfilling for every parent to see their child become a responsible individual in society at the end of the day. So let's fast forward. Let's bring your journey to Russia. Just give us a brief background on how you managed to move from Zambia to Russia to even study what you're studying, which is agronomy.
Yeah. So at first, I really, honestly, to be honest with you, I never wanted to study abroad. I never thought of it. Like, it's something that never crossed my mind. So I applied. I wanted to do public relations at UNZA, and then turned out, because I completed school in 2018. So when UNZA, if you want to be on bursary, you have to wait for 2 years, and then after 2 years, they'll enroll you if you want to be on bursary. So when I was taking my application form, the lady, I remember that lady, she was like, she asked me a question, say, do you want self-sponsorship or bursary? I'm like, self-sponsorship. Are you sure? I'm like, self-sponsorship, because I hear there's no bursary next year. Like, who told you there's no bursary? I'm like, no, it's going to be there. Put your paper there. Put your forms there. I put my forms, I go. So now the time when I started accepting, now my name wasn't showing. Like, my sister, where's your name? Are you sure you took at UNZA, or you took to another university? Because no, it was very impossible for her to say that, because I was raised in Chipata. So So it was possible for me to take an application form from Unza, maybe take it maybe Panipa. You understand? Eh? Yeah. So she's like, are you sure you took it? I'm like, I'm sure I took it there. The lady, this is what happened. I explained to her. My name wasn't even showing in the system. Nothing like, and then it turns out that they put my name on the other, on the waiting list for the other intakes. For the 2020 intake. That was the 2020 intake. Yeah, because it would have been 2 years and then I was going to be eligible to be on BC.
Yes.
So after that, after we knew that there was that breakdown and everything, I was like, I'll concentrate on comedy and then I'll also start a job whilst I wait for next year.
Yeah.
And then my sister's like, no, go to the Russian Center. So I went to the Russian Center, which is currently known as the Russian House in Lusaka.
Yeah.
Where I did the Russian language, and then I was recommended, and then I was told, no, agronomy. I wasn't so into it. I had to research more about it, and then I fell in love with the course, and then it turns out my dad did the same thing.
Oh.
I was like, okay, let me continue the legacy. Yeah, then I fell in love with the course, yeah, even though it's a bit, but I love it. And yeah, and then here am I in Russia.
Yeah, in Russia. So how's been your journey so far as a student here in Russia?
Bad. No, it's not good. I'm just go on.
Didn't even finish my question. I love your answer. But how has it been? You're a student as well as a content creator. How do you manage your schedule?
Oh, there's time for everything. If it's time for school, it's time for school. If it's time for content creation, it's time for content creation. But at least I have to try to manage, because sometimes school eats me up. Then I'll have no time to make content. But then I'll people that are waiting, like they're waiting for something. Like they're waiting for something. Let me just try to create space. And yeah, so I write some things, like, I've got so many ideas that I write that I know that these would take much of my time. But then there are other ideas that I write that I'm like, this can just be done in 10 minutes or something, I'm done. So those that I write that would take time, I wait maybe for the holidays and stuff, or when I have like full time, that's when I make such content. And then like being in Russia, the first time it was so bad, guys, come on. I once bought shampoo, shampoo, and I thought it was lotion. Shampoo, I bought shampoo thinking it's lotion. Because, we didn't even know how to read. I bought it, and then I was rushing for class after bathing, and I scrubbed myself because it was new. That's what I do every time, not even today. If it's new lotion, I'll make sure I scrub myself. Like, as long as I'm opening for the first time, I'll bath, like, to the fullest, like, whew. And then, I apply. And then, so I bath, like, and then I'm applying, and then it started feeling, like, hard, So it felt hard. And then I'm like, what's going on? So the first thing that came, then I was like, let me go on. Like, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't normal. Like, this is not lotion. I went and then I put water just to check, and then the bubbles. I'm like, oh my God, this is what this is. I checked. That's when I decided now to read, now to check and translate it, and then I could read shampoo. My knees were weak. I didn't have lotion, and then it was hair shampoo. My home, we don't use hair shampoo unless hair shampoo for what? I started using hair shampoo for now. It was just actually like this. We just use Lifebuoy, Mumutu, and forget. Like, why should you stress? I mean, But I was forced to use shampoo, and that was my worst experience. Like,
you applied shampoo.
Shampoo thinking it's lotion. Oh my God.
Did you continue applying shampoo?
No, I stopped that very day. I stopped. I was so upset with myself. Like, I had to stop. Then
You know why I'm laughing this hard?
You did the same.
Yes.
Obviously, I mean.
But my experience with my friend was that we went to buy water, like, the 5 liters.
Oh my God. Don't tell me you bought gas water. Oh my God. God, Jesus. And not just something small, but big.
Yeah!
You've got big dreams.
The pain in letting go after being so sure that we did the right thing. Yeah. And I think that day we were just the two of us trying to explore. We went to the mall.
That was Patfak.
Yeah.
Patfak is messed up, I'm telling you. Patfak is messed up. Oh my God. Oh, and I also bought tomato. Like, this is tomato juice. It's just like tomato juice. And I thought it was, for some reason, I think it was cherry. I thought it was cherry. Because it's in the red package and they're close, like they're similar, like very, very similar. Like,
I think I know it.
Jesus. And I know I love, like, in the middle of the night, I'll just wake up and drink. Like I was just like, so I put in the freezer. I wasn't even paying attention. Even the time I was paying on the tea, I never paid attention. And then I put them in the night. I'm like, I'm feeling thirsty. I didn't want to drink water. Went and
You
then,
know it was juice.
it's juice, man, and tomato juice. Juice, man, tomato juice, please. I drank it, and the worst part, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that when I drank it, I just like took rapid rush. Then I spit, and then I'm spit on my friend who was sleeping. Meresa. I was like, God, is this how bad things can be, guys? No shikuyo. And this guy, he's from Equatorial Guinea. He speaks, I think, Spanish. Like, he started shouting. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening, God? Why, God? That's the one Jesus Christ said, Eloi, Eloi. What, you know? Why have you forsaken me, Jesus? And it's my last money. You guys are laughing now, but like, it was crazy that day. Like, I just felt like the world could just swallow me whole. I'm like, God. Patfuck is bad. Like, Patfuck is bad. Like, Patfuck, this is why now I want to visit, like, every time I want to go to the airport to see children, like, as they come, they come overdressed and stuff, coat, mask, but like, like, Patfuck, this is how Patfuck is. And oh my God. I was forsaken that time, guys. But anyway, it happened.
And you've learned, and definitely you're going to teach other people.
From there, the following day, I was busy on my Russian notes, knowing Russian books, and now I do not just buy anything. I have to look at it, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're very particular now, right?
Very much particular. And it's good it happened so that I learned a lesson.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's good I even learned my lesson, but you.
So, aside from the fact that you have only spent 2 years here in Russia, you managed to partake in a very big competition, music competition to be precise. Can you give us a brief background on how that shaped your perspective and helped you as a foreigner here in Russia?
It's something I never expected, like, to be on Russia's biggest TV channel. Like, it was something big. It happened when a friend of mine, Makedrian, he posted the video on Instagram, and then one of the people that were, doing the show and everything, they contacted us. Like, there's this that's going on. There's such amount, you might win this amount. You guys are good. I think you've got you're standing a chance you can win. Yeah. Then we went there, and then we're like 1,000. Like 1,000 participants, yeah? Really? Yeah. And then it kept on cutting off until we came out second out of, which was so good. And it's really been good because even at school, a lot of teachers know me and they were like, it was you who was on TV. Yeah, So, that was so good. You guys are so good and everything. And then that thing, it's like like they create a bond whereby I'm free to ask questions whenever I'm not clear. And and we've just there's just like a bond that's just been created because of that, and they respect me for some reason. Like they not like respect me, but they feel good because I'm their product, like school product, and then I did that, and I've just been here for not so long and everything. Then because in the songs were in Russian, we touch so many people's souls, not just in school, in metros. Some people like look at you like and life goes on. But it's really impacted me in a good way. We have some shows in different cities. Yes. It's a chance for us to visit different cities as well, which is good. Yeah, otherwise it's been a good journey.
So how have you managed the exposure and the visibility that comes with it? Has it been overwhelming, or it's something that you sort of got used to it?
I think in a foreign land, it's something that's just like mind-blowing, because I never expected, never. And then for it to happen right now, it's just, I would say it's not really overwhelming. It's just, to me, life is normal. And the good thing is, people, for example, if you meet Barack Obama right now in the streets, walking and then just wearing, like, you won't think it's him. Like, you might say, this guy looks like Barack Obama. Like, but you know, because what is he doing here? Yeah. What is Barack Obama doing here at this point? And that's the same thing that happens with them, Russians. Like, they might see me, they might see us maybe in the metro or something, but they'll be like, this guy was in Pervika now, in a metro. No, it's you were in the finals, you came out second, and you're in a metro. I don't think it's a person, maybe they look alike. And they've got a problem again of they make mistakes. They think we all blacks, like we look the same for some reason to them. So they've asked so many of my friends to say, we're the one who's on TV, we're the one who's on TV. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, no, no. So it just happens just like that. So it's just normal. Life has continued. Like, yeah, people come and say, hey, yeah, this and there. But then life is just normal. It's just okay. It's moved on, I mean.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. One thing I've come to learn from you or from our conversation so far is that you need to be audacious when it comes to life. You need to be you need to be very determined and very clear, if I can say clear when it comes to what you want out of life, and that is something that I see vivid in your life. And so unfortunately, guys, we have come to the end of this episode. But before we go, I would like to ask you this one question. Word of what word of advice would you give somebody in your shoes? Somebody who is in your shoes.
Sanga kwa nema, you can't fit my shoes.
Let me be precise with the question. Somebody who is going through a tough time and maybe they are, according to society, they're under negative statistics. What would you say to them when it comes to pursuing their dreams and being ambitious and determined? What would you say to them?
Tough times never last. Tough people last. No, to be honest with you guys, I shouldn't have watched that video. If you know, you know. But like, to be honest, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to believe in yourself. Yeah. You have to believe in yourself. And trust me, it doesn't, when you are starting something great, like a seed, when you, like these mango trees, let me say a bamboo or maybe, you know, they plant it, it takes time for it to grow. But the moment it just protrudes out of the earth, like it grows, like it just grows, you understand? So there's like things step by step. Do not underestimate how small you are today. Like, trust me, you'll be looking at that like, wow, like, you know, me, even the time I reached 1,000 views, 1,000 followers, the first time I was so happy, and people were like, Winga, 1,000, that's a lot, but 1,000, that people, you know, some people, there are people with 30,000 and what, but you are
300.
Trust me, when you appreciate the little, even the more you are going to be appreciative. Like, just the little that just bit by bit. Like I said, the only best advice actually I'll tell you guys is the advice that my brother-in-law told me. You will never climb a tree from the top. That's it. Appreciate what you have now, use what you have now, start now, and with no time, you're going to be there.
Thank you so much, Winga, for coming. Thank you so much for sparing time and for talking to us today on Heart to Heart. So, guys, we have come to the end of our first podcast and we have more to come. Bye.